Hi, this is Michael William Denny of ThunderShamanism.com, and today we're going to talk about some more information that's found in the book Mounting Sleipnir, the Indo-European Roots of Germanic Polytheism. Today I want to talk to you about dwarves. So we talked a lot about, in previous chapters about the deities and their connections to the Vedic deities and all that, but I devote a large portion of the book at the end towards deities and entities that are found only in the Germanic tradition or very specific Germanic interpretation, which still we have today. So dwarves are one of them. Dwarves are something you see in the movies. You see in Lord of the Rings. You see it in all kinds of video games and all that kind of stuff. And there's some pretty big misunderstandings about what dwarves really are. When you look at the Voluspa, the dwarves are entities that are, first off, they're humanoid, and the gods create humanoid dwarves. They're not humans. They are humanoid, meaning that there's something about them that is very human. And what it is the conscious awareness of connected to emotions. Now, animals have emotions and instincts, but they don't have a lot of consciousness to them, which is why, you can be with your dog and your dog will snap and bite you and then 2 seconds later come up and lick your hand and ask for forgiveness because they can't control themselves. They have a very hard time controlling their emotions and their instincts. They don't have the mind, which is man. Man means mind. Humans, mankind, are the only animals that have the divine mind, which is able to objectively look at things. But mind is very connected to emotions, and emotions have a very powerful impact on the mind. So this is what meditation is all about, by the way. So dwarves are the emotions that all beings have, but that are now beginning to gain some conscious awareness. And dwarves are incredibly powerful, which means that our emotions are incredibly powerful. And I'm going to, from a shamanic perspective, your emotions aren't just these things that fly around in your head. Your emotions can create entire worlds. People have poltergeists. Poltergeists are nothing more than people's emotions that are not being dealt with. They're pushed down into the unconscious mind to such a degree that they escape outside of the body and they start causing all kinds of havoc. This is the power of emotions. So dwarves are connected to this. Now there's an old Anglo-Saxon poem, I think it is, or a healing, anyway, it's called Against a Dwarf. And it's these magical incantations that are said to heal people who are being attacked by dwarves, which is what? Nothing other than emotional, and these emotions can fly around like ghosts and attack you, but usually we create them. We create them, and then we are having to deal with the chaos of our own emotional creation. Our disease, the diseases in our bodies, it's nothing more than unaddressed emotional issues, conflict within ourselves that we haven't addressed, and it manifests in all kinds of different illnesses. So this is a dwarf, and Odin has a very special connection to dwarves because, in fact, in the Voluspa, Odin is classified as a dwarf. I say this and people get all upset. Odin is not a dwarf. Sorry, it's written right there. Odin is a dwarf. And so what is Odin? Odin is complete awareness. And he is, the rage, and I don't mean rage in an angry way, but, the shamanic intensity and ecstasy of self-awareness. This is Odin. There's a lot of emotion attached to that. But it is that emotion, that self-awareness, similar to Shiva. Shiva is completely self-aware. Odin is completely self-aware. And that's why he's king of the gods. But he rose, he self-evolved. And this is one thing that's different from the Abrahamic tradition, which says that, human beings aren't capable of self-evolution. We're just God's little puppet creations that he threw down there, and our job is just to bow down and worship this almighty God. But that's so different from the Germanic. This is why the Germanic tribes, they never bowed to anybody, because they knew that within themselves was the king of the gods, Odin, the ability that any human had the ability to rise and become the supreme being in the universe. They believed in their own self-evolution. So this is Odin, and this is what happens with dwarves. Now, dwarves have a connection with humans and elves, and here's the progression. It goes from dwarf to human to elf. Elves are the ascended masters of the human race. And I know sometimes, in the language, things like elf shot, so sometimes elf is referred to as a spirit, but the language is very clear that the elves are the shining ones, and it's the elves that discern. According to the myths, elves discern, and the elves stand back at the gateway to infinity, and they stand back and they turn back and they look down at the human race, and they educate them. So working with the elves is, like working with working with the ascended masters, the bodhisattvas, however you want to look at it. And so that's the progression. It starts as dwarves, who are emotional beings that are getting an awareness of themselves, and then we become human, we become man, we become mind. So the mind and the emotions now have a balance, and we're able to look at our emotions and control them, and experience them 100%. And then when we get to that complete mastery, eventually we will become elves. We will become the shining ones who will look back. So whoever you are listening to me right now, whatever you may think of yourself, your absolute spiritual destiny is at some point you are going to be one of those shining ones. And you're going to remember what I'm telling you right now, and you're going to remember that I told you that at some point you're going to be looking down at those human beings, and with compassion and with love and with wisdom, if they ask for your guidance, you will help them. You will share with them how they can evolve and become just like you. So, that's it for now. I'll share a couple more things that are, connected to this book. By the way, as you can tell, I'm not sharing exactly what's written in the book. There's some really great stuff in that book that, I don't have time to talk about on video, and I'm adding some new understandings and awarenesses. So, really, if you think you're just going to watch these videos and get what's in the book, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go ahead and buy the book, Mounting Sleipnir. Go ahead and buy it. And if you want to gain the power that will help you to become an elf, I recommend Celestial Qigong. It's the most powerful energy practice that I can teach on video without taking the risk of causing you any harm. And on that subject, if you've done that or you want to go beyond that, then you need to work with me personally, become an apprentice. It just means that you work with me on a weekly basis, 1 hour a week, and that you only commit to 1 month at a time. But if you commit for a few months, you're going to end up getting over $3,000 worth of streaming videos and all kinds of other stuff that you can't get unless you pay for. So check on that. The link is right there below too. So with that, my friends, until next time.